We will begin with uh, the webinar for Scaled Agile Framework for Lean Enterprise. So in this webinar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do few things. One is I'm going to talk about why SAFe is used, but I will set the scene from what is Agile Manifesto, but I will not get into the details of Agile or Agile Manifesto. And what is agility? We will talk about that. Then we will explore what is SAFe, what is the need for SAFe, and what are the various configurations of SAFe, and what is the purpose of SAFe, and how SAFe helps us in our workplace, and what are the kind of challenges which we are trying to solve, right, using SAFe. And while we are talking about the challenges which we are trying to solve at our workplace, we will also see how SAFe helps us to scale agility. And that is why many of the enterprises are using SAFe as a framework. Okay, so we will talk at a high level at the framework. So yeah, so in terms of setting the scene, okay, we will begin with what is Agile, right? So when we talk about Agile, what comes to our mind is nothing but looking at Agile Manifesto, where here Agile mindset is nothing but a philosophy of delivering right value at the right time. And this Agile philosophy here, we have four Agile Manifesto values, which is individuals and interactions over process and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following the plan. Now, this Agile Manifesto is nothing but coined during 2001. And during those days, we were like, small teams, and we were not doing such large type of, possibly the application development, which we are doing now. Okay. But the fundamental thing is our philosophy is nothing but in terms of adopting Agile is the philosophy is delivering the right value at the right time. Now, what do organizations do to achieve that Agile manifesto or Agile mindset at a team level, right? So at a team level, if organizations wants to be Agile, what they do is they use a framework like Scrum, and Scrum provides that framework which will give them that agility at a team level or the mindset at a team level. So here we are talking about team agility, where team is using Scrum. And Scrum offers various ceremonies like iteration planning, daily stand-up, backlog refinement, iteration review, iteration retrospectives. I will not get into the details of all of these ceremonies. I think everyone is aware of these now, right? So Scrum provides the framework which helps us to complement that Agile mindset, because in that iteration planning, okay, we are doing a shorter iteration, and we are able to collaborate with the customer, show the demo of the potential shippable software. We take the feedback, we learn from the feedback, we continuously improve by doing the retrospectives. Okay, we optimize our work by meeting the team daily in the daily stand-up and what is the right work to be done today, right? So Scrum helps us to complements the Agile mindset. Now, what is a Scrum team? So to summarize the Scrum teams, this is the trait and the characteristic of Scrum team. It's a small team, which is usually about 5 to 11 members team, which contains two specialty roles, which is like, the Scrum Master, the product owner, and the rest of the team is nothing but the delivery team. Now, who's the delivery team? These are not only the development team, but anybody and everyone required to deliver that value is required to be onboarded on the team. So they are all cross-functional teams working in shorter iterations. These shorter iterations is nothing but your sprints or the iterations in a short time box, usually like about 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, up to 4 weeks. So 1 to 4 weeks, usually based on the size of your user story and depending on the context of your organization, you can choose the length of the iteration. And the team defines, builds and tests and delivers the increment. And if you guys, if you have any question or something, no, start putting it in the chat so that I will look at the questions in a while. Now, what happens is organization feels that now we are an agile team. So hooray, we are an agile team. Agile teams are optimized for communication and delivery of value, and can build small applications. So because we are 5 to 11 member team, we are able to build small applications. And these small agile teams, which which we have taken as an example of a Scrum, they deliver right value at the right time. And for example, I've taken an example of a Scrum. I can take example of any kind of agile framework. It could be, Scrum, or it could be a method like Kanban also. But here, to set the scene, I have, or create a scene, that I have taken the example of a Scrum team. Okay. So now organization feels that we are delivering right value at the right time. And I want you guys to focus here. The focus is on the agile team is delivering the increments of value called user stories. So here, basically the agile team is delivering user stories, right? Delivering value at the right time. Now, 5 to 11 member team helps us to build small applications. Now, these small application, what could be a typical example of a small application? Could be, a small bug tracking application where you come and log a bug. You can view the report of a bug. Maybe that could be a small application, but nothing beyond that of a, that one, or maybe like a personal assistant app. 5 to 11 member team can develop that, or maybe doing some small enhancements on some application, right? But what if our needs are large? Okay. When we talk about what if our needs are large, currently, most of the businesses are disruptive business, startups are starting, and the way of doing business is completely changed. So it is all about the digital age, and every organization is getting digital, right? So they are moving into digital way of working, because they are digitalizing all their overall operational value stream, so that they can deliver faster and go to market faster and deliver value faster to their competition, or to their customers, and compete with their competition. So now we knew that agile teams are 5 to 11 members, but what if we require more than one agile team to build our application? Yeah, for a agile team, the guidance is given by a Scrum guide. Okay, for a Scrum team, the guidance is given by a Scrum guide. But what about when we have more than one team, or two teams, or three teams? For example, let's say we have about 5 to 10 teams, about 50 to 100 plus folks working together to deliver a large enterprise scale application, right? So can we still be agile? Can we deliver right value at the right time? How does team of team comings together look like to deliver a larger application together, right? How does it look like? How does the value flow? So here, if you look at, this is the example where there are multiple teams here, team number 1, team number 2, team number 3, and bunch of teams. Okay. And the team number N, they are coming together to deliver possibly one particular solution to the market. Okay. And what we are saying is, we will represent this solution, and SAFe calls this representation, will not represent the solution. Sorry, my bad. We will represent this construct as a agile release train, and SAFe calls this as ART. So ART is a construct in SAFe, okay, which is like a virtual organization, which is about 5 to 12 teams coming together, which is about 50 to 125 people working together on a common goal. Now, if they have a common goal, what they need to have? They need to have a common backlog also. Now, these agile teams were able to, deliver right value at the right time. It means they were delivering the right user stories at the right time. So they had a product owner who's working on their backlog. So every team is having their own dedicated product owner. Now, we will not get into the details of whether literally all the 5 or 12 teams are having 5 or 12 product owners. I'm not going to cover those concepts today in this particular session, but at a high level, one product owner can manage more than a team. Okay. In the context of complexity, whatever he manages, right? So question is, when we are operating team of teams together, how can we scale agile to deliver a larger enterprise scale level solution? So this concept is called as scaling agile, and we require some way to operate now, because we want to deliver right value. Are we delivering right value to the market? So the value delivered when team of teams together, we can call that value as features. So features is nothing but, at a high level, you can call that as collection of user stories, or features are nothing but larger services which can be released to the customer, right? So the team of team comes together to align on a common goal called, what is the features which they need to deliver to the market, and they need to be agile. Now the question is, how can they be agile? Now second one is, if you look at, maybe this team says, okay, we are agile, maybe this team says we are agile, but if they are possibly, this team is possibly a ad hoc agile, or maybe not, they are not agile, or they are working in their own cadence. Okay, can we be agile? Actually, if you look at, the value flows through all the interconnections. What do we mean by the value flows through all the interconnections? For example, if we are building a large e-commerce portal, so if we are building a large e-commerce portal, there could be a product catalog team, there could be a shopping cart team, there could be a payment integration team, there could be a platform team, there could be a business intelligence or BI team, reporting team, order fulfillment team. Every team has some dependency on the other team for some API or for some data point integration or whatever, right? So if you look at, what we are trying to say is, value flows through all the interconnections. And to scale agile, we require some level of guidance for these guys to operate together in a synchronized way, right? So now that guidance, what is that guidance? What are the challenges which we can have, right? So question is, at a art level, or at a agile release train level, or at a team of team levels, okay, how can we scale agile when team of teams come together? So we need to operate on a common backlog. Okay, we need to have a common backlog called features, and we need to have a common backlog called features. The question is, how can they align on the common backlog now? Who has to deliver that, develop that common backlog? Who will tell the team of teams that this is the common backlog? Because we have multiple POs here. Okay, they have their own team level backlog. We know by the Scrum guidance, every team is having their team backlog. Now, who decides about the priorities of the common backlog, which is called as features? We need someone who can help us to tell us or provide us a direction. What should be our vision? What should be our roadmap? Or what is our common backlog? How do we decide on our architectural direction? Okay, so this is again a challenge. So at a team level, every team cannot decide that, okay, I would like to use Kafka versus I would like to use ActiveMQ. By the way, I really don't care what others are using. I would like to use possibly Elasticsearch versus Solar, or maybe I would like to use the Lucene or whatever, right? So they need to get a common direction also. How can they plan together? They need to come together to plan so that they can deliver the value together, right? Otherwise, they will not be able to move forward faster to the market. Now, they also need a way to collaborate together, manage their dependencies, because there are always their integration points. We saw that value flows all through the interconnections. Okay. Now, who manages this feature backlog or the program backlog? We need a role for that. Who manages the architecture? We need the role for that. Who manages the coordination between each of the team? So we need a role for that. Now, if you look at, to manage the program backlog, we need a role. We will call that role as maybe a PM role. To manage the architecture, we require an architecture role or a system architect or engineer role. We'll call that role. To manage the coordination and the progress and overall dependencies or servant leadership, we require a chief scrum master. So we require a chief scrum master. So we require that particular role. Okay. And we know that at a team level, we are agile, but when we collaborate with each other, do we have the same philosophy of, delivering the right value at the right time? What is our fundamental core values or principles that we need to operate upon? Okay. Are we all embracing the lean and agile mindset? Okay. And we also need to think of how can we deliver software continuously so that we can go to market faster. So we require some level of, continuous delivery pipeline for us, so that we can continuously deploy, continuously develop, continuously deploy, and continuous release on demand. So we need to have a continuous delivery pipeline in place. Now, so to scale, what SAFe has done is they have created these roles. So based on those problems, SAFe is adding these 3 roles at that particular level at a team of teams, where we have a product management who focuses on the vision and the feature of the program feature backlog. There is a RT who's called as the chief scrum master of the art, who's like a servant leader of the art, where the RT focuses on managing the collaborations between the team and is the coach. He or she is the coach at a team, a team of teams level, or that at the art level, right? And the system architect or engineering team will provide the guidance in terms of whether they should use, the Kafka, or, should they go for RabbitMQ, or, whatever, or should we develop a homegrown JMS, or what kind of a direction which they need. There could be architectural guidance architects also. So the system architecture team, this could be one member, this could be, multiple people. It depends on the size of your art. And the product management also, it could be one person or a group of committee of product management. So these are the couple of roles which they have added, right? Now, how does the overall picture look like? So at a team level, we have a team backlog and the teams work in iteration. So here we are just depicting, there is one iteration here. So if you look at, there is one iteration. Okay, this is the second iteration, this is a third iteration, this is a fourth iteration, and there's a special iteration called IP iteration. And at the end of every 5 iterations, SAFe calls this as a program increment. So what is program increment? So I'm introducing a new term here called program increment. Program increment is nothing but a longer or larger time box called program increment. Like how we have iteration. Iteration is nothing but a smaller time box where the agile team comes and delivers a team increment. Program increment is a time box for the overall team of teams. So here, if you look at, the train is represented here. And if you see the gray color, all the teams of the train are represented as the bogies of the train, which are going to deliver the solution, which is operating on a particular solution context, right? So the team of teams come together to deliver the solution. They plan together, okay, for the overall program increment, or the PI, called as a program length. Okay, so program increment is a larger time box containing about 5 iterations. Now, is it 5 iterations? SAFe recommends about 4 to 6 iterations of about 2 to 3 weeks. So it is about, roughly about, typically 5 iterations. So, this is how the SAFe has modeled this particular layer. And in each iteration, teams deliver user story. Here they deliver enabler stories. And in every iteration, just give me a second. And in every iteration, at the end of every iteration, the team shows the iteration demos, and they do the iteration review, get the feedback from the product owner. They follow the same Scrum process. Okay, they continuously explore, continuously integrate, continuously deliver the code. So if you look at, there is a triple infinity loop. Okay, and if there are about 10 teams, every team will have its own internal team demo, which is happening here. They will also do their own team level backlog refinement at this particular level. They continuously release the value, release on demand. Okay, now this is another concept of release on demand. Now, what is release on demand? Release on demand is nothing but a concept wherein we are trying to say we release only when there is a need, or when the customer is asking for releasing this value, right? For example, if I have to give you an example, right? So think of this as an analogy, right? So if I'm ordering something from Amazon.com, like, if I've ordered an iPhone 13 or whatever, right? And I'm not at home and I'm watching, I've gone outside watching a cinema with my wife outside, and this guy from Amazon comes to deliver the iPhone 13, and he says that, okay, I'm coming on this particular Sunday and delivering you this product. I've agreed that he's going to deliver that product. And he calls me, okay, sir, you are not opening the door, and I'm going to leave your iPhone 13 at the doorstep. We do not like it because we are not ready to take the order. So here, if you look at, the customer is away and is not ready to take the order. So release, I would like to pull when I want the order, right? So in a similar context, when we are releasing a software, right? Okay. When we are releasing a software, release the software only when the customer is ready or he wants that order, right? Again, so that is the concept of release on demand. Let the customer pull the value. So we can we will have to use couple of techniques. One of the technique is to use feature toggles. And when we do continuous deployment, you continuously deploy into the production with the features as off. And whenever the customer wants it, you turn on the feature, and then you can achieve release on demand. So mature organizations follow the practice of release on demand. So here at a art level, the art has to also have a continuous delivery pipeline, okay, which is having maybe some your repository like Git, Jenkins, or something like that, which is continuously integrated with the Docker like environment, where where the folks are continuously exploring. We are able to continuously integrate all our code. The team of teams is checking into the common repository where our continuous delivery pipeline is integrating, running the unit test cases, and it is putting on some Docker or whatever kind of an environment which it prepares after every build and runs our automation test scripts and validates our environment and makes that, ready for use. So we need to have a continuous delivery pipeline at a art level. The continuous delivery pipeline is shared by all the teams. The art is driven by the program backlog, and the program backlog is managed by the product management. So when we talk about program backlog is managed by the product management is the external facing person who understands the market or your business, okay, and figures out what are the next things to be done, right? Okay. So this is at a high level of how it will look like, scaling the team of teams to the train level. Now that we have this thing, so now I will get into the SAFe and I'll introduce you what is SAFe. So how does SAFe define the concept of team of teams? It defines the concept of team of teams with the agile release train. This is just a recap. Now, agile release train defines, builds, and validates the release. Okay. So ART is a virtual organization of 5 to 12 team members, 50 to 125. Now, why 125? Beyond that, it's a number coined by Dunbar, one of the researcher, that otherwise it will be too many interactions and individuals. Beyond 125, okay, you can split that into multiple arts. Okay, arts is synchronized with a common cadence. Cadence is nothing but rhythm, and this cadence is nothing but the program increment. So program increment is a rhythm of about 5 iterations where the art will come together. It means the team of teams will come together, align for the forward-looking vision and the backlog and the top 10 features. And what is that they need to deliver in the next 4 or 5 iterations, right? So they align to a common vision via the program backlog and they deliver value to the customer. Now let us look at the overall configuration, how it looks like. So I'm introducing now this essential SAFe configuration. So what we discussed was, we already saw at a team level, we have a scrum master, we have a product owner, we have a delivery team. Okay. At a team level, team of teams come together to deliver the software. They work on iterations, correct? They work on iterations, and here they work on iterations and they plan within for a PI cadence. They release on demand, so they can release as many number of times. It is not required that they have to release only at the end of the PI or at the end of the iteration. They can release whenever they feel that the features are ready for release, right? Their architectural runway will evolve. So this red line denotes that the evolving architectural runway. Architectural runway evolves because the system architects provides inputs to the product management when they both collaborate together to prioritize a couple of enablers before the features are built. And the teams will break down those enabler features and build the enabler stories so that they can evolve the architectural runway. So at the end of every iteration, there is an iteration demo. And after the iteration, we can have a system demo. So if you can see this particular dot here on top of this yellow lines, this represents the system demo. And this final big dot represents the PI system demo for this particular PI. So this is a PI. Okay, this is the first PI. At the end of the PI, we will show the PI system demo. Now, this dot doesn't mean that this this system demo happens on this first day or the last day of this iteration. It can happen anytime between this particular. It may lag as one iteration, right? And this R denotes here your team of team concept, which is having continuous delivery pipeline, continuously explores, integrates, deploys the solution, right? They also have that DevSecOps mindset, and they build code with quality. Okay, so quality is of utmost importance here. So they may follow some XP practices like, TDD, pair programming, user story, all of those concepts, and they can build code with best quality. And quality is most important. They will minimize the defects and all of that. Now, there are corresponding similar roles at a next level, which is at a art level here. So these are the folks who are coordinating at a art level or art ceremonies. And these are the folks at a team level, right? So this is the agile team. And there is one-to-one correspondence of these roles, right? Product owner, product management. Okay. And this is your technical team or the delivery team. And we have the system architect or engineering team, which is the providing the direction for the team here. And there's the RT, who is the, chief scrum master of the train, who is a release train engineer. And you have scrum master, who is the servant leader of the team, right? So we have these three roles at a team level and these three roles at a art level. Now, if you look at, there is one business owner who is nothing but the main sponsor for the project, okay, or is from the business side, who understands what needs to be built, and he is having the final say again. He also collaborates, he or she also collaborates with the product management team closely in terms of how we are utilizing the investments which are given by our investors, and where are we spending that on, or what are we really building right features. So he has the final say on that. Product management uses customer centricity and design thinking. Okay, customer centricity and design thinking, putting customer at the center of everything while taking their decisions, so that we are delivering right product, okay, which is desirable, viable, and feasible. Okay, desirable, viable, and feasible. So they use customer centricity, they use design thinking, kind of a concepts. They can use couple of design thinking tools, like maybe the Gemba, or they may use something like customer journey maps. They may use personas. They may use empathy maps. User story mapping. These are a couple of design thinking tool concepts, prototyping, couple of concepts which the product management team can use. However, it's not that nevertheless product owners also can use these tools. Okay, again, it depends. But product management here, the key takeaway is having the final say on the program backlog. So the program backlog contains features and the team backlog contains user stories. Product owner is accountable for prioritizing the team backlog. So, and at the bottom of this layer, we are seeing lean agile leadership. There is one circle, and the reason this is leadership at the bottom, it's not that is at a low priority. It is basically we are trying to tell that it is a fundamental, foundational component, that if you do not have leadership support, okay, then we will not be able to scale agile. Okay, and having said that, you might be seeing here a Kanban icon. What we are saying is agility can be achieved by using either Scrum like a framework or Kanban like a method. Okay, and we need to have a foundational competency of our leadership, which is supporting. We need to have competencies like team and technical agility and agile product delivery. So these are the competences which we require to have. I will not talk about competences in my current this one. Here I am just trying to talk about this. There are furthermore 7 competences which I will talk in my next webinar. So talking about now at this particular point, we understand that we have a guidance from the SAFe that we are able to deliver right features to the market using essential SAFe, right? Now, how do we get to this picture? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to Scaled Agile framework here. So here, if you look at, this is a Scaled Agile framework. When you log in, go into the homepage of the framework, so you can see this information. There's a big picture, full SAFe framework. But what right now we have covered is the essential configuration of SAFe framework. So when we talk about essential configuration of SAFe framework, it is a team of teams coming together to deliver the value or to deliver the solution. This is the essential SAFe configuration. So now let us say that uh, let us say that we are able to deliver the right features to the market using essential SAFe. But our question back again is, are we investing in the right products or solution that will bring strategic growth to our organization? Now we know that by doing this particular scaling, we are able to deliver right features at the right time. But are we building the right products, or are we investing on the right products or solution that will bring strategic growth to our organization? Now, to understand that, we need to understand what is strategy, right? So here we are talking about enterprise, right? So it may be any enterprise for that matter. So any business enterprise may have their strategic themes. So in terms of strategic themes help us to connect our portfolio to the enterprise strategy. So strategic themes will be like, we would like to increase the uh, um, we would like to increase the percentage of sales on our online instead of our in-store shopping. That could be one of the strategic theme, like an example. Now, to increase the sales online, what are the things which we need to do? That could be one of the strategic initiative, and that is nothing but one big level idea, right? So strategic themes are created by the enterprise, and the strategic theme is created by the enterprise, and enterprise can have a portfolio. Now portfolio is the enterprise can have a portfolio can contains multiple value streams. When I talk about multiple value streams, portfolio contains multiple value streams. When we talk about multiple value stream, it could be multiple solutions. Okay, in that we are looking at how do we fund the portfolio, right? So it helps us to fund our budget, our value streams. The funds are allocated to portfolio, and later these funds are these value streams are funded by the budgeting. Now how are they funded? We will have some ideas here. Just one second. And those ideas could be here epics. So these ideas are nothing but epics. Epics are a couple of initiatives which we may have to do to answer the questions of strategic themes. Now epics are some ideas which can be implemented to answer the questions of strategic theme, and epics are present in our portfolio backlog. So at this level, the decision happens that we are able to choose what are our right epics which we want to fund to achieve the strategic themes. Now if you look at, now what happened is we added one more layer here called as portfolio layer, and on top of our art we have a portfolio layer which will decide about which idea which we need to fund. Okay, based on this layer, right, the epics are broken down into the features, and the features are broken down into stories, and the epics are well aligned to the strategic theme. These are well aligned to the strategic theme, and the strategic themes are created by the enterprise. So here, if you look at a high level, you have the backlog. Our looks like, we have your portfolio backlog, you have program backlog, you have team backlog. In the portfolio backlog, you have epics. In the program backlog, you have features, and in the team backlog, you have user stories. Now, the product manager is the key person or having the authority who will work on the program backlog. He is driving the vision and the roadmap. He helps to drive the program increment objectives. He establishes the features and the acceptance criteria. Product owner is an integral part of the team. He works on the story level, right? And he accepts the stories. He helps to drive the PI objectives at a team level. Give me a second. I just want to turn on my charger. It is showing me low battery. Just give me a second. So so here what we are looking at is, now we saw there is a portfolio level safe. So we saw essential safe, and when we want to make a decision, are we investing on the right epics or right initiatives which are aligned to our strategic theme, which are created by our enterprise, then only we will achieve that business agility. So safe helps us to scale agile by using this particular framework and provides us the guidance. At a portfolio level, we may see these kind of roles, which are epic owner and enterprise architect. Now, you may not go and search in your organization, is there a epic owner role? Epic owner role, I would say it is, you may not find in your organization. Anybody is having a good idea can become an epic owner. Okay. And there would be some couple of portfolio management team, okay, along with the enterprise architects and epic owners, to establish which idea needs to be get funded. Okay. That is a competency which is defined at a lean portfolio management level. So if you look at, as the as our framework shows, in the essential safe, there were only three competences: lean agile leadership, team agility, and technical agility, agile product delivery. In the portfolio level, there are a couple more additional competences which have come, which is nothing but continuous learning culture, lean portfolio management, organizational agility. Now, the fact that uh, if we do not have these competences, it means our strategic themes are stale or old, and we do not have strategic themes which are focused towards market. If we do not have that organizational agility competency, then we will not be able to get to the business agility. So these are couple of key levers which will help you to get business agility at the organization level. Okay, you may be wondering why I'm saying up, because I have the monitor upside. Yeah. So these are the things. Now the question is, what if our needs are furthermore large, right? If we are working on very, very large scale implementations, what happens then? So what if we require 200 people to build a solution? So we talked about 125. What about if we require 200 people? What happens then? Now at that point, SAFE has provided another guidance here in terms of large solution SAFE. Now in large solution SAFE, there is a concept which we are introducing here, which is nothing but a train of train. Okay, so at a agile release train level, we had a concept of team of teams. Here at a large solution level, we have a concept of train of trains. And in this concept, if you see, they have also included the concept of supplier trains. Now, this train of train concept is nothing but where we are trying to build very, very large scale systems or cyber physical systems, like, the aircrafts or spacecrafts or whatnot, right? Where every art can build, some kind of a subsystem in itself. And to deliver it faster, we have an art of art coming together, and they operate upon a common backlog called solution backlog. Now, what is the difference between the program backlog and the solution backlog? Now, solution backlog contains uh, uh, the artifacts called, the capabilities. So the name of the artifact here is called as capabilities. Like here we have something called as features. Now, what are capabilities? Capabilities is exactly what we are talking about, features. However, capabilities are very large. Okay. Now, to deliver these capabilities are larger solutions. To deliver these capabilities, more than one art will come together to deliver these capabilities. Now, to manage the coordination between the art of a art and a supplier art. Now, supplier art could be like, in any of the services big companies, you may find some offshore development centers. Okay. Maybe some bank is having an offshore development center, and they may be running a art within their own organizations, right? Like Infosys having a offshore development center, or Wipro or TCS, like a company having an offshore development center, right? So that could be a supplier art, and they coordinate with rest of the arts which are working, which are present remotely here. So don't think contractors working in your own company are a supplier art. Contractors are part of the same team, so they may be part of your art, but art which is remotely there, which a supplier independently works, but they are coordinated by these couple of roles here for the pre-PI and the post-PI planning. And here, these roles again correspond to the below roles: product management and solution management. Solution train engineer is like the scrum master for the art of art, is nothing but the solution train engineer. And solution architect or engineering team provides the guidance on the big level, how we can provide direction in terms of larger solutions. How do we do the scalability of the larger solutions, testing, compliance, compliance need design. How do we do design the larger solution? How do we build, evolve solutions which are large? Okay. And that is the exact competency which is required here at the enterprise solution delivery. So if you look at this particular picture, now this configuration is called as large solution configuration of SAFe. So where there is more than one art coming to deliver one particular solution, right? So this is how we can model it. But again, if you look at, there is no business agility symbol here. It means we are still unaware whether are we investing in right products or right initiatives which are strategically aligned with the strategic themes. So, so here, if we want to achieve business agility at a large scale level, we introduce the portfolio level, which is exactly looking same what we saw in the previous during the essential SAFe to portfolio level, right? Same thing, we added a portfolio level here on top of the large solution, and this kind of a configuration is called as a full SAFe configuration with all the three levels: portfolio level, large solution level, essential level. So when all these three levels are present, we call this as a full SAFe configuration. And in the full SAFe configurations, we are exactly aligned to what are the which epics we are funding, and what is the need of the hour. And based on the epics, now these epics are also large. Epics are broken down into capabilities. Capabilities are broken down into features, and features are broken down into the stories. And this is how the alignment happens. Okay. On the right hand side, what you are seeing is something called as a spanning palette. Not all the things are mandatory here. You can tailor the framework the way we saw here, right? Initially when organizations start adopting Agile, they begin with the portfolio, the essential SAFe. Then they move into either launching couple of arts again, okay, getting the smaller wins, and then they scale up to the portfolio. They do not start top to bottom, they go bottom up in terms of scaling. And if you see, if you have to implement full scale solution where there are train of trains coming together, you require to implement 7 competencies of SAFe to achieve business agility. Okay. And business agility is achieved here for the operational value streams. And these are our development value streams, which are producing our product solutions or services for our customers. And we can measure our maturity of, how we are applying all of these competencies from the measure and. Now, I will just quickly show you the SAFe framework here. I would highly encourage you to go and visit the scaledagileFramework.com. It is, the free knowledge. You don't have to log in, clean website. All the icons are interactive. You can click on, if you would like to understand more, you click on the product owner. There is a small article which comes. It will talk about what the role of product owner is. And you understand how product owner, product manager communicates. One product owner managing 2 to 4. There's a kind of recommendation which is given in a distributed setup, in a what kind, right? So all of that information is given here for this. Now here, so far to recap, we saw essential SAFe. Now, when you're using essential SAFe, what we are talking about is we are not able to get business agility, but we are able to, scale agility at a team levels, where we are able to deliver right features at the right time, but we are not addressing the question of, are we investing in the right products, right? Then second configuration which we saw was large solution configuration here. Here, where the concept of train of trains, multiple trains are coming to deliver one particular solution. Okay, there are 3 roles here, and these are the competencies. Then we have a portfolio safe competency. It is not that you need to follow this particular order from essential safe. If your needs are larger, you may get into launching multiple arts, and your organization may look like this. If you have only one art, and one or two arts, smaller needs, and a smaller portfolio, you may look like this. If you are really large scale, your configuration of safe may look like this. So these are the 4 configurations of safe. Now, before moving into configurations of safe, and remember, these are the 4 configurations, and these are the 3 levels: portfolio level, large solution level, essential level. Okay, I will highly encourage you to click on all of these links and go through this. I will cover rest of the topics, which is nothing but the foundational components and the 7 core competencies of this framework in one another session, possibly after 2 to 3 weeks. I think I'll be able to do that. If there are any questions or something, I'm happy to take them. Okay, so I will look at the chat. I will just pause the recording here. Just give me a second.